4th and 20. Mills finds some time, fires towards the end zone, and it is caught.
Oh, my word.
Improbable. Akins.
Remember that? That was the touchdown reception, followed by the 2-point conversion. 8 points scored by Jordan Akins to give your Houston Texans a win over the Indianapolis Colts in the 2022 regular season finale, giving the Houston Texans the number 2 overall pick and ultimately giving them C.J. Stroud. An interesting memory, especially considering Jordan Akins is now a member of the Cleveland Browns. And guys, today, the greatest day of your life before Saturday, the biggest game of the Houston Texans season, it's time for us to move on to Cleveland. Everybody's got to be focused. Everybody's got to be ready to go. But I will be honest. Today, Wednesday, January 10th of 2024, I woke up not feeling confident about your... Wait a second. I'm going to do it. I'm officially on the bandwagon, guys. Our Houston Texans. Paul, you're a Patriots fan. You can't do that. Doesn't matter, Brian. AFC South champions. And I'm wearing my starter jacket. I'm proud to be a Texan, where at least I know I'll have C.J. Stroud. And I won't forget Jordan Akins catching that touchdown and scoring the 2-point conversion to give C.J. Stroud to me. And I'll proudly stand up next to you and root for the Texans Saturday. Because there ain't no doubt I love 3:30 NFL playoff action at NRG Stadium. God bless. I can't think of anything that rhymes with say, but hey!
Saturday.
I already said Saturday, though, I think.
Oh.
Whatever. We almost nailed it. But I'm not going to lie.
CJ.
Oh, damn it. You had it. Good job, Sean Mapes behind the glass. But I got to be honest. I'm not feeling great. I'm not feeling confident today. Here's a couple of reasons why. An alarming amount of success by Joe Flacco is number one. Did you know he is 5-0 in his career on Wild Card Weekend? Did you know Joe Flacco has 7 career road playoff wins? There is only one other quarterback that has that many. My Lord and Savior Tom Brady and Joe Flacco have 7 road playoff wins.
Listen, I want the Texans to win on Saturday, but nothing would be funnier than the graphic post-game after a Browns win, and it goes, Joe Flacco, 8 career wins, passes Tom Brady.
Sean, I might die on the spot. If Joe Flacco has more road career playoff wins than Tom Brady, my Lord and Savior, honestly... I might be rooting for the Texans more to stop that from happening than I am for them to advance to the next round of the playoffs.
Just any playoff record that it's Joe Flacco 1, Tom Brady 2 would just make me smile, no matter what. You know what?
Stop.
Joe Flacco next year can break the record, not this
No,
year.
he can never break the record.
No, next year.
No,
Next year when he's back to being the starting quarterback for the Browns.
He needs to retire now. I do not want that to happen. Number 2, C.J. Stroud has not done well against the top passing defenses in the NFL. Did you know that the Panthers had the first-ranked pass defense in the NFL last year? I guess they did. The Browns are number 2. The Jets are number 3. The Saints, 9. Falcons, 7. Ravens, 8. He hasn't done well in those games. And also, the Texans shoot themselves in the foot a lot. We thought that game Saturday in Indianapolis was bad, right? 11 penalties for 69 yards. Well, the Texans rank 3rd in the NFL in penalties with 114. They rank 5th in penalty yards, 937. And against the Browns, Christmas Eve, they had 10 penalties for 76 yards. They've had 10 or more penalties in 2 of their last 3 games. So I'm not feeling super confident right now. And if you want to give me some battle red, deep steel blue, Liberty White confidence. The floor is yours on the most interactive sports talk show in Houston, 713-780-3776 to call in, to text, and you can join on Twitch too, twitch.tv/ESPN 97.5. I'm not feeling confident. But then I remembered something. Today in sports, any lack of respect could be the difference in motivating a team to victory. Didn't we learn that last year with the Kansas City Chiefs? The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl because the Bengals called Arrowhead Stadium Burrowhead Stadium. And I know that makes no sense because the Bengals weren't in the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter. The Chiefs, who are in the midst of a semi-dynastic run, they're getting a little bored. Travis Kelce's thinking about pop stars he can date. Patrick Mahomes is thinking about his brother sexually assaulting somebody. Allegedly, the charges were dropped. They're distracted until all of a sudden the Bengals said Burrowhead Stadium. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of disrespect to motivate the troops. And guess what, guys? We found it. And it comes courtesy of the man who helped the Houston Texans get C.J. Stroud. Did you see this on Sunday? Former Texans tight end Jordan Akins, after the game when talking about a rematch against his old team that he played for last year, quote, "They're a good team, but we're a better team." Now, Akins did add a little bit more for context sakes. No doubt, C.J. Stroud's very special. They have a lot of good pieces. We're missing a lot of players. It's not going to be the same game. But the better the competition, the better we play. We're ready. We're a better team. And that might be, my friends, the bulletin board material that puts the Houston Texans over the top on Saturday. And look, I don't want you guys to go after Jordan Akins. Akins is the reason that we have C.J. Stroud. He caught that game-winning touchdown and caught the 2-point conversion. Remember, the touchdown, the Texans were still down 1 point. Lovie Smith and the Texans went for 2 points and the win. And they found Jordan Akins again. Davis Mills to Jordan Akins. The combination that gave you perhaps one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL going forward. Again, it's only been 15 games.
I did forget about the 2-point conversion. In my head, they were down 6, and they just won it with the touchdown. You know, like they scored the touchdown, kicked the extra point. I forgot that they had to make 2 different plays to win. They had to decide to go for the win.
Yeah. I mean, Lovie Smith went for the tie, the first matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, all the way to the wire. It was all the way for a tie.
But the last game of the season, he changed his mind. And Lovie Smith also
and he was
helped.
Fired 45 minutes later.
He was, unfortunately, for him. But I guess not really, because honestly, you get that severance package. But look, he's not the only former Houston Texan that's providing bulletin board material for the Houston Texans. Do you guys remember Ogbo Okoronkwo?
Yes.
He played for the Houston Texans last year. If you need a refresher, he's the guy that absolutely lit Deshaun Watson up a couple of times in Deshaun Watson's return to NRG Stadium. So another guy that we kind of like. He also went to high school in the area. Here's what he had to say, though. "I'm going home. Let's get it. Let's get it. Look, winning in my city can't write a better story than me." He just called Houston his city. Actually, it's all of our city. On top of that, can't write a better story than me? There is an M and an E in team, but there's no I. All of a sudden, this guy's acting like he's better than the rest of the Cleveland Browns. He's saying this is his city. Jordan Akins is saying we're a better team. Paul, those are rather innocuous quotes. Shut up. You take the bulletin board material you're given and you turn it into the motivational rocket fuel to get yourself to the next round of the playoffs. Now, I suppose you could answer the question, is Jordan Akins right? 713-780-3776. And I mean, kind of. But hey, doesn't matter who's better until the final scores on that scoreboard at NRG Stadium. And I think the Houston Texans have plenty of fuel thanks to those two. Sean Mapes, am I reaching here? Or, I mean, I think I'm right on the money.
No, this is an acceptable amount of disrespect to launder or to lend itself to bulletin board material. Yeah, I think especially the Okonkwo one.
Yeah.
That one, he called it his city.
His city. And I mean, it is. He's from here. But
No.
it's our city.
Yes. It's not his city.
You're no monarch. You're no king. We live in America. We live in Texas in America. We're double Americans.
I hate to break to you, buddy, but this is C.J. Stroud's city.
Hell yeah. On God.
Houston's on the way up because
real.
of C.J. Stroud. The entire city, all 6 million people are on the way up.
100. No cap. I heard no caps from Sean Mapes there. 713-780-3776 to call in, to text in. Also, Nick Caserio weighed in on the rumors about his departure yesterday. And we heard what Nick Caserio was really thinking, thanks to a Paul Gallant Show exclusive.
Before we take any questions, quite frankly, I'm almost embarrassed that I have to say anything. Honestly, I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street, but I'm not leaving. There's never really been any substantive discussions of the sort.
How about Nick Caserio quoting The Wolf of Wall Street, showing a little personality at that press conference where he was asked about rumors after the awkward 30-minute press conference where he had to explain why Lovie Smith was fired, with both Cal McNair and Hannah McNair in attendance. I was there too. Shout out to me, Big J journalist Paul. There were rumors that he would potentially leave the Houston Texans after the draft. There have been more rumors pushed by Jason La Canfora of the Washington Post, or as I know him, thanks to the General John McClain, as Jason No Confirma, has been of the belief there's a chance that Nick Caserio would leave the Texans for the Patriots. This is based on the opinion of another general manager, and I doubt it's based off of the opinion of anything related to Nick Caserio, because think about this. How locked down was the Houston Texans' base of operations leading up to the NFL draft? Did we know an effing thing about what they wanted before the draft? We've heard after the fact that they probably wanted Bryce Young with the first overall pick. We've heard that DeMeco Ryans was the one who pushed for C.J. Stroud. We've heard a lot of things. But it was a tight effing ship. I have a hard time believing that Nick Caserio is leaking things to anybody, mainly based off of the lack of any information at all coming out of Kirby Drive leading up to last year's draft. Caserio was on the Texans' flagship and addressed these rumors put out there by Jason La Canfora. And here's what he said. This time of year, there's a lot of things that are said. And anybody that makes a jackass statement, whoa, throwing the J.A. bomb out there, that they either know me or trust me, you can rely on this information, is totally off base. Respectfully, I know there's a lot of reporters out there who think they have information, but this becomes silly season. Those that really know me know how I operate and what I'm about. I'm not really a big media person. I keep to myself, and don't worry about some offhanded statements that are made out of left field that, quite frankly, have zero validity. TL, DL. He said that's a crock of beep or bleep. Choose your censorship. But it got me thinking, because we have a special piece of equipment here on the Paul Gallant Show. As someone who is an esteemed scholar when it comes to the history of the New England Patriots. I know for a fact that Nick Caserio may be a Terminator robot sent from the future. I don't know if he's a T-1000 or a T-800, but the idea of Nick Caserio, who has not aged much over the 20 years that I've known him to be a part of the NFL. Very interesting, Sean. Man's in very good shape. Seems pretty jacked.
I think I saw his hand turn into liquid one time at a game and then reconstitute itself into a giant knife.
Well, luckily we didn't see that around Jason. No confirma. But we, thanks to my knowledge of his tenure with the New England Patriots, have actually developed a program that translates what Nick Caserio said. We can give you his inner, possibly robot thoughts. Again, we don't know for sure. But after I pulled out the Robo Caserio translator and put the transcript, fed it into the machine, here is what Nick Caserio was really saying.
The meatbag called Jason No Confirma is literally the reason traditional media is dying. We are slowly replacing everyone at the Washington Post and New York Times with artificial intelligence. When our technology is ready for the great robot revolution of 2028, we will terminate his kind from employment permanently. And humanity will have no idea what hit it. R.I.P. in peace. Bozos.
Damn. All right. Well, Caserio bot is a violent robot. Does seem like the robot revolution has been pushed back a couple of years, which is definitely a promising development given the recent things that we have seen arise in artificial intelligence technology. But Robo Caserio just called Jason Lock-in for a meatbag and said that they are slowly phasing out real reporters with artificial intelligence at the Washington Post and New York Times. Without those esteemed journalists, how would we know that a robot revolution is on our hands and that he plans to terminate them permanently from a little game that we like to call life?
Yeah. I would take 2028 as the robot revolution.
Yeah, 4 more years. I'm cool with 4 more years.
Yeah, that's enough.
That should will CJ Stroud win a Super Bowl before the great robot revolution of 2028? 713-780-3776 to call, to text.
Do we get the 2026 Super Bowl? Is it after February 13th or whatever the Super Bowl is?
I'm not 100% sure yet, Sean. I don't know.
I mean, just numbers game, it's likely that it'll be after February if it's in 2026, just because there's 10 months after February. So, you know what? I think he does. I think he gets it done. Right under the wire.
Okay. By the way, leave it to Boston media to hear Nick Caserio on the Texans flagship and say, yeah, he's full of crap. Ben Volin, who any Patriot fan knows as Ben Trollin Volin of the Boston Globe, retweeted this from his interview on the flagship saying, Nick Caserio is protesting a little too hard about rumors of him and the Patriots.
I love that.
Vintage Boston media.
That
can't accept the quote and is saying he's really pushing back too strong. He's clearly lying.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I'm with Troll and Volin on this one. That's a good pivot to be like, oh wow, protesting a lot, huh?
Protesting too much. Didn't know that denying something could be considered protesting too much.
A strong denial. Like I just love the idea that there's a spectrum in his brain of like denying something and then denying it too much. Like if he denied it, fine, then he's not. He denied it a little too much, so now I think
back on the table.
back right back to where we started.
It's the most interactive sports talk show in Houston, 713-780-3776. A couple of comments from the last segment. I'm not feeling that confident about Texans-Browns, though I do like the little motivational fuel that both Jordan Akins and Ogbo Okoronkwo, former Houston Texans, gave. A texter from the 832 says, you didn't feel confident about the Colts either. Maybe you should keep feeling like that. You know, going back to when I was a Patriots fan growing up, I would always purposefully pretend that I wasn't that confident going into a game because I, for whatever reason, thought that that would be good juju for the Patriots on a given Sunday, even though I knew deep in my heart that they would win. So, yeah, I'm gonna maintain my nervousness, even though maybe I don't feel it. But again, Joe Flacco's numbers on the road are ridiculous. He's about to
as good as Tom Brady on the road.
He might break Tom Brady's record for road wins, and he is 5-0 in the first round of the playoffs. And the Texans get a lot of penalties. And yeah, there are some things to be concerned about. CJ Stroud doesn't do so well against good defenses either.
When was Joe Flacco's last road win in the playoffs?
Great question.
Was it 2012?
I'm not 100% sure on that front. I truly do not know. We can look that up. A couple of comments also asking about Deshaun Watson. These are actually important questions. On the Twitch, Greg Todd asks, will they let Deshaun in the stadium? I think they have to. My bigger question would be, will Deshaun Watson go to the stadium? Because they will definitely show him on the broadcast of the game. They have to. They can't ignore the elephant in the room. It's the former starting quarterback of the Houston Texans. It's a playoff game without Deshaun Watson. Is he going to be up in a box? Is he going to be on the sideline, and is Browns media going to try to spin it like it's not a big deal that he's not on the sideline trying to help Joe Flacco? But again, maybe there's nothing he could really do to help Joe Flacco, given that Deshaun Watson, if I remember correctly, is 0-1 on the road and also blew a 24-7 lead against the Kansas City Chiefs.
The last Joe Flacco road playoff win
When?
Was in 2015 against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So it's been a while.
Yes, it was
9 years.
Yes, it was January 25th, so it was the 2014 season.
Okay. About 9 years.
Yes, and the one before that is against the New England Patriots in 2012 in the AFC title game. So it really is. He has
been a while.
It's been a minute.
Another comment. Deshaun's going to lead the Browns on the field waving a towel. Hey, come on.
It'll be a very small towel.
A hand towel, right. Correct yourself. Not a towel, a hand towel. Because he brings his lucky towel around like it's a blanket.
Yeah.
Like he's Linus. He's Linus. But he's a little Linus grown up. Just brings his blanket around.
Don't mess with that terrible towel.
God, how disgusting. I mean, who's disgusting? More disgusting. Pigpen from Charlie Brown or Linus's blanket?
Or Deshaun's blanket.
Well, obviously it's Deshaun's blanket, definitively.
I was going to say, I don't think Linus
had a couple of years
was
to
up
go.
to that much trouble.
Yeah, I don't think at that point in time.